right. This is the secret test stream. Don't tell anyone. Do not share this. Do not tell anybody. It's top secret. No one's watching. It's perfect. It's perfect. Maybe someone will watch later though. So uh, I just wanted to play around with this a little bit and figure out what the hell I was doing. Um, but since we're here, we're gonna go ahead and run through some news, some disease news and such. Because why the hell not? I'm gonna try to keep it quick. We'll shoot for like 10 minutes, and then if we run longer than that, then we'll deal with it. So here's backstage. Oh man, quick, hide that. Top secret. So no vaccine passports was trending right before I got started here. It's pretty interesting. Not a lot going on. It's just a bunch of people who are upset, and that's fair. I'm with them. I'm not going to tweet about it. But yeah, I agree, man, dude. Screw vaccine passports, as if it needs to be said. I'm sure. I'm sure most people are with me here, and a lot of the people who aren't are just virtue signaling. They have no clue what they're getting into. Like I'm sure, you know, based on nothing. I'm sure the Antifas are down with the vaccine passports, even though it's uh it's some straight up papers please type shit. The kind of thing that they're supposed to be against or whatever. But I don't have a whole lot to say about this. So measles is back in the Congo, or at least it's building up again because it never really left. There was the outbreak was never completely quelled before. They just beat it back, but measles is back in full swing, and they're probably going to declare another epidemic, which the last one was absolutely devastating. It ran side by side with an Ebola outbreak, and it was honestly beautiful because it illustrated a lot of truths that people don't understand about viruses. Like whatever you think about Corona, um, a lot of people like to shit on the CFR of coronavirus. But the thing is, a virus like Corona can cause a lot more damage on a societal level than something like Ebola, which people tend to freak out more about. They take it a lot more seriously. Um, Measles is the same way. Measles has a CFR around 0.2%, whereas coronavirus is somewhere in the neighborhood of like 1.8, as far as we know. Maybe less, maybe more. But as far as what we can measure, somewhere in the neighborhood of 1.8. And Ebola varies outbreak to outbreak, but it's much higher. Generally 50, 60% CFR. But you don't get the amount of spread. So a disease with a high R naught, like corona or measles, which measles has the highest R naught of any disease known to man. It's been there. There have been situations where measles exhibited an R naught over 200. So uh, it's usually somewhere in the 13 to 18 range, but measles is a motherfucker. People don't understand. It's why it's my favorite disease. Measles can do some crazy stuff. But enough about that. My initial point with the Ebola measles thing is Ebola managed to I can't remember if man, that last outbreak, the 2018 outbreak, I can't remember if Ebola infected 2000 or killed 2000. But it doesn't really matter because measles, even though the CFR was so much lower, it managed to get double the kill count. So, and part of that was because everyone was freaking out about Ebola, trying to get it under control, which is fair. I mean, it's not like that's a crazy thing to do, but because it was like Ebola was running interference for measles, so measles had uh, almost a free reign because they were trying to vaccinate against measles while trying to stop the Ebola, but you know it's difficult to do them both at once, and so it was hard to shut down. Yeah, between between 2018 and 2020, more than 460,000 children contracted measles and nearly 8,000 died from it, MSF said. Three-quarters of them were under 5 years old. And, I think that might be just an assumption. Maybe they're really basing that off something. But, measles can infect adults just fine. And in fact, it's the illness is usually more severe in adults. So uh, the CFR tends to go up in a mostly adult population that hasn't been exposed to measles. In a population where the adults haven't been exposed to measles, that's what I should say. Then the CFR tends to be a bit higher. But vaccination campaigns for other diseases across Africa have strained as manpower and funding are stretched thin in order to undertake large-scale coronavirus vaccination schemes. Though the Congo's COVID-19 vaccine rollout has yet to begin, it's a very difficult place to move something like that. These corona vaccines that have to be stored in deep freeze. The freezer industry was at a standstill there for a while, like last year, because all these places needed to get special freezers that could get cold enough to store that stuff. Anyway, we'll move on. I can't help but ramble about measles. Measles is great. FDA warns against Real Water brand linked to hepatitis outbreak. Federal regulators are cautioning, excuse me, federal regulators are cautioning U.S. consumers against drinking real water as a Las Vegas-based product that is still sold online and promoted on social media, despite being recalled due to an outbreak of liver illness that has hospitalized 5 children. So that's pretty wild. Watch out for the water. Gotta be careful with that water stuff, man. Brought to you by Coca-Cola. So I didn't mean to cover this. I meant to delete it, but since I didn't close out the window, researchers find the cause of Guillain-Barré syndrome in Peru. Turns out it's some fucking bacteria. Uh, this is kind of sort of old news. Like the outbreak is kind of in the past now, but they just figured out what was causing it. Where is it? Campylobacter is what was doing it. So it's been associated with GSB outbreaks in South America and China. While trying to fight the bacteria, a patient's immune system can mistakenly attack the nervous system as well, resulting in GBS. So that's what GBS is when your immune cells attack your nerves, and it fucks you up, as you might imagine. How long am I going for here? Oh Christ, 10 minutes already. Yeah, I wouldn't shut the hell up about measles. Well, this one that's loading, there's a measles outbreak in Jacobabad, which I don't remember where the hell that is. I think it's in Pakistan. So there's that. I mean, I know it's Pakistan today, but they cover other places too. So whatever. Yeah, there's measles all over the damn place. Italian grocery clerks dying for vax, while nurses have to be forced to get it. So they talked to like a handful of grocery baggers who were like, "Yeah, we really want that vaccine. It's bullshit that we can't get it, which is stupid anyway. Like they have, I'm sure they have plenty of vaccines in Italy, but the nurses they aren't down with it. They don't want to be part of the testing of an experimental vaccine, and I don't blame them. Salmonella outbreak in songbirds sickens 19 people in 8 states, officials say. So, yeah, this is a thing that's been going on for a while. It first started getting reported on. It didn't get a lot of attention, but it was reported on that they thought there was salmonella in the bird feed, and birds were dying, getting sick, and whatnot. And now, for a little while now, we've had these reports trickling through of people getting sick. Got 6 in Washington, 3 in California, and 5 in Oregon were among those sick with salmonella because of the outbreak among wild songbirds, the CDC said Thursday. So, oh wow, we got some in Kentucky, Mississippi, New Hampshire, Oklahoma, and Tennessee as well. So don't be going around playing Snow White with all the local songbirds because they might just give you the coof, the salmonella coof. And then I was just going to run through this and point out a few things. Chicken pox outbreak in India. Who gives a shit, dude? Like I was talking about this the other day. I know I sound like some kind of boomer when I talk about the chicken pox and how it's not that big a deal. Uh, but really, dude, why? When did this become a thing where they pretend like the chicken pox is a problem? Like back in my day, we all got chicken pox. We really did, though. Like everyone I know just caught the chicken pox, and then it sucked for a little while. I remember when I got it, I argued with my mom that I didn't have the chicken pox, that I just had a bunch of mosquito bites, and that I was fine. And that's real. I swear I thought I was just had been eaten up by mosquitoes. It's not even a big deal, dude. Um, and the thing is, I looked it up and did the math. Chickenpox has a case fatality rate of 0.01. So that's that's ridiculous, dude. That's nothing. That's that's I believe it was 10 in 100,000 people with chickenpox die. So it's ridiculous. Botulism in the fucking walrus meat in Canada. Day of the rake. Racial differences in outcomes of COVID-19 patients in Detroit. No difference, says researchers. I don't know about that. I've seen a lot of data that states otherwise. South Africa reports second human rabies case of 2021. Rabies is a killer. Philippines have been getting sacked by coronavirus. So has the Ukraine. I believe Pakistan's been getting hit hard. Brazil, of course. There's a few places really getting slammed right now. I think Poland was one that was setting records. I could be wrong. Just going off the top of my head. Guinea worm disease. What in the fuck is that? Guinea worm disease cases have dropped by 50% in 2020 compared to 2019. This includes a dramatic decrease in cases in the country of Chad. What's more, this happened despite the challenges of the COVID-19 pandemic. What in the fuck is guinea worm disease? I assume it's some fucking worm that people get. Oh, Dracuna coleasis. Draconi. The Draconi disease is a parasitic infection by the guinea worm. A person becomes infected when they drink water that contains water fleas infected with guinea worm larvae. Initially, there are no symptoms. About 1 year later, the female worm forms a painful blister in the skin, usually on a lower limb. Other symptoms at this time may include vomiting and dizziness. The worm then emerges from the skin over the course of a few weeks. During this time, it may be difficult to walk or work. It is very uncommon for the disease to cause death. Sounds like it sucks ass, but it could be worse. The yaws. What the fuck? Just, got a bad case of the yaws. All right, that about does it. That was the secret test stream. So I don't think anyone tuned in. It's just fine. Don't tell anybody. Just keep it between us. We'll play this sweet little song one more time. Glory, glory, what a hell of a way to die. Glory, glory, what a hell of a way to die. Glory, glory, what a hell of a way to die. He ain't gonna jump no more. That's about all. Take it easy, guys.